come to the shore at Preston Pans, you can't but notice this great rock. It's called Johnny Moat, and it's sat here for thousands and thousands of years on its throne, the Girdle Rocks. It's a lovely calm day today. 1,000 years ago, however, on this very spot, a great storm brought a pirate. He was called Ealhtaemr, likely a Viking, and he was well kent out in the North Sea for his piracy. But on this day 1,000 years ago, a great storm, with waves higher than the mast of his boat, forced him to order his men to row to safety into the Firth of Forth. But the storm followed him, so he had to look for land. And as he cast his eye to the shoreline, he aimed for this spot here. Likely they didn't realise just how rocky this beach is until it was too late. Their boat was smashed on the rocks, but Ealhtaemr and his crew managed to scramble ashore, and in the morning there was naught left of their boat except for wrecked wood everywhere. Johnny Moat was a witness to it all. And Ealhtaemr's men looked at their captain and said, what do we do now? Here by this great rock, he said, Providence has brought us to this shore with our lives. Piracy is now something we will give up, and we will settle here. And so they did. The first community, and it became known as Ealhtaemr, after the pirate captain of the ship. Well, over about 100 years after that, the monks came here. They could see the potential of this place. Mining, salt panning, fishing, oysters. And so they took over the town. No longer was it kent as Ealhtaemr, it was the priest's town. Later to be kent, of course, as Preston Pans, or Preston Pans as it is now. And it flourished. And according to the tradition, as long as this staying Johnny Moat was sitting on his throne, the tune the Preston Pans, when they die, it will flourish. And right enough, flourish it did. Mining, salt panning, soapworks, potteries, brewing, brickworks. You name it, it was going on here in Preston Pans. This was the centre of the Scottish Industrial Revolution. And during all that time, Johnny Moat, sitting here on his throne, looking after the town, until a day in December 1952, when another storm, a storm as wild and as ferocious as that same storm that brought Ealhtaemr here in the first place, hit the shores of Preston Pans. And in the morning, when folk came down to have a look, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Johnny Moat, after thousands of years sitting on his throne, had been cast down. No longer was he sitting on the Girdle Rocks. The legend was clear. As long as he sat on the rocks, Preston Pans would no die. But now he was lying like a fallen angel in the sand. Some folks said it's just a legend. Can it really be true? Preston Pans has flourished for hundreds of years. But sure enough, soon after, the town slowly started to die. The mining closed down, the brickworks closed down, the pottery closed down, the soapworks, the breweries. Everything that made Preston Pans prosperous was dying. 40 years of decline. 40 years of watching the town fade. Until March 1992, when workmen were going along the shore, fixing the pipe. And he had machinery, because nobody was strong enough to lift Johnny Moat themselves. But with their modern machinery, they were persuaded to lift Johnny Moat back onto its throne on the Girdle Rocks Hundreds of folk came out to see it. Was it going to make a difference? Gradually, slowly, with Johnny Mote back on his throne, the tune the Preston Pans started to flourish. Once again, you come to the Pans, you can see a tune on an upward curve. Where does it get its magic from? Some folks say Johnny Mote came from the heavens, a meteorite that was landed here specially to protect the tune. Others say it was fired out by the great volcano by Arthur's Seat. Others say it was brought by a great sheet of ice and gently laid here to mark the spot where the town the Preston Pans would grow. Whatever his origins, you come down to Preston Pans today and walk by the shoreline, you'll see Johnny Mote sitting on his throne. And nobody here will tell you, as long as Johnny Mote is sitting on his throne, they ken Preston Pans is going to flourish. A few months ago there was another storm, a wild storm that folk even called a hurricane. Rooftops were blown off, chimneys were crashing down onto the streets, and in the morning all was calm, and I came down here a wee bit anxious and worried. When I got to the shoreline, licht enough, 2 or 3 other folk were here and all. We both looked at each other. It's alright. Johnny Mote, he's still on his throne.